Welcome back to the Jonestead. I'm Mary. Today's Wednesday, December 10th, 2025. And no big surprise, the Fed cut the interest rate by 25 basis points today and to a new range of 3.5% to 3.7%. And the Federal Open Market Committee, FOMC, voted to cut with the support of 9 of the policymakers, and 3 of the policymakers dissented. 2 of the dissenters did so because they didn't think it was enough, or they didn't think the economic conditions warranted the rate cut, and the third didn't think it went far enough, that there were cuts were big, the cut was big enough. And the policymakers said in the FOMC's announcement that, quote, uncertainty remains elevated with job gains slowing this year and the unemployment rate rising through September, while inflation has also risen over the course of the year and remains somewhat elevated. And so with the Fed once again lowering the interest rate, then you're going to put more money into the system and you can expect more inflation out of that. Some people think doing that provides more economic stability where people can invest into businesses and so forth to help stabilize. But I think, from my opinion, I think the best thing they can do is leave it. And it's the infrastructure of the economy that needs to be fixed. And as far as getting jobs back, supporting our businesses, getting the small businesses again to be the backbone of the country versus these big conglomerates just coming in and gobbling everything up. And interestingly, gold and silver seemed unfazed by this, because I know we've been watching the gold and silver has been going up almost every day. There have been some pullbacks and then it's up again. Silver is breaking records. And so I know there are people wondering, and we'll see, maybe tomorrow there will be a pullback again. But as of 3:38 today, when I looked it up, gold is up to $4,244 and a penny, and silver is at $61.97. So that people have been saying for years that both of these, gold and silver, their values have been so held down, and now we're seeing that come up. And there are actually a number of reasons for this. And Michael Snyder, in his latest article, just came out with an article that said the unprecedented explosion in the price of silver can be attributed to the AI boom and the behavior of the BRICS nations. And the first are the AI data centers. They're powered by solar energy, and approximately 300 metric tons of silver are required for just one 500 megawatt solar array. So as long as this AI boom keeps going on, the demand for physical silver is going to just increase, and there is an infinite amount of silver. So also, the behavior of the BRICS nations, Mr. Snyder cites in this article, is driving the price higher as well. India is the world's second largest market for silver, a lot of it in jewelry, and the Bank of India is now considering allowing consumers to monetize their silver, which is very interesting. Russia, another BRICS nation, in 2024, Russia's central bank decided to start purchasing silver for its state reserve fund. China announced they're imposing stringent conditions on any silver exports because they're definitely want to be first in the race in this AI race. So you have central banks are buying gold and silver, and it shows also that our fiat system is weakening because it's not backed by anything of substance, really, if you think about it. It's just the faith and trust in the institution. The actual paper is not worth a thing. We saw what happened in Venezuela, and wheelbarrows full of cash, and you can't get you a loaf of bread. So we're seeing more and more countries, central banks buying up gold and silver. And so that should tell you something, because they understand where the value is and where long-term wealth is and security, and it's not in fiat money. And so with inflation, which we're going to continue seeing, even though we keep being told it's never been better. That is why it's important to really go make sure that you're putting your money into things that are stable and that have a value to them. Obviously, you want to make sure you have cash on hand to operate, to pay your bills, but also set some aside if you can. And what's interesting we all know, obviously, with inflation, your money doesn't go as far. And there's an article, this was on Fox Business, and it's titled, GoFundMe increasingly being used to fundraise for basic economic needs like food and housing. Monthly bills became the second fastest growing category on the platform. And the article said monthly bills was the second. I just read that. Essential expense fundraising increased by 20%, and more fundraisers were started for food banks than any other community cause. And it also said many voters report rising costs for groceries, utilities, and healthcare and housing are the reason why they are requesting help on the GoFundMe page. The article also talks about how people are increasingly blaming Trump for all of this inflation, and I don't blame him. This has been going on for years prior to his administration, prior to his first administration. It just accelerated under the last administration, and the current president is having to deal with it. My frustration has been, and he did it again last night, and Scott Bessent keeps doing it. They keep coming out and saying inflation has never been lower, and the economy has never been stronger than ever before. And it's one thing to put an optimistic foot forward, but you also have to tell the truth to the American people. And I made the mistake of commenting about that on my Facebook page last night, and boy, did I get lambasted for it, because I support the president. I voted for him 3 times, but I also, just because I voted for him, if there are things that concern me that my president is doing, I'm also going to talk about that. But I'll also talk about things where I do think he's doing a good job. But we're not seeing, we're seeing some, yes, gas prices are lower, but we're still seeing significant inflation in other areas. Like one head of lettuce, of iceberg lettuce, it used to be 99 cents, is now up $2.84, $2.85. So people got mad at me, and they're saying, well, just give him time. This is Biden's fault. He inherited this mess. Yes, I agree. He inherited an economic disaster. But my thing is, as opposed to coming out and gaslighting us, why don't you come out laser focused and say, these are the challenges in front of us, and this is how we are tackling them. That was really my only point. So while we're seeing central banks and countries buying up gold and silver, they are shoring up for something. So we all kind of said something is coming, and you really, really need to prepare right now. And if you haven't started preparing, you need to sit down and make a list. And the first thing you need to do is make sure you have extra water, backup water. In fact, our power went out I guess it was day before yesterday or yesterday for a couple hours. It was cold, but it got me thinking, and we have a generator, and of course when we went to put the generator on, the power came back on. But anyway, it got me thinking I thought, I don't have enough backup water stashed away in the event, because if our generator doesn't work, then we can't use, our water pump doesn't work because we're on a well. So that was a good lesson for me, and I need to stock up on more water to have on hand, and also catchments. But anyway, you want to have extra food, you want to have extra water put up, you want to have an emergency fund set aside, put some money aside, so that if you get a flat tire, or whatever, you have to take the dog to the vet, you've got the funds to do that, and you don't have to put it on a credit card, you look around, and people seem to be spending money like crazy. They're out going to football games, and they're driving fancy cars. but they're on GoFundMe. So they're broke. They're living on credit. And so they really need to prepare and put money, and I'm not a financial advisor. These are just things that I've learned over the years from suggestions that I've read and learned from other people, and put money into commodities, gold and silver. I mean, countries are buying it. Central banks are buying it. Don't you think maybe that might be a good thing? If you look at what successful people are doing, to maybe do what you can. I mean, you can still, silver not too long ago was $35 an ounce, and people could have bought it then. Now it's $60 an ounce, and that's probably going to be considered a super bargain next year. So take $60 and go buy an ounce of silver, and just as a suggestion. But definitely make sure you're paying attention to what's going on. Don't just believe anything people are telling you. Do your own research and dig into it. And I think I'm gonna do a little more research and talk a little bit more tomorrow about gold and what's happening with gold and why it's going up, and also who's buying it. So anyway, I thank you all for watching. I hope you found this helpful, and please like and share the video. Please comment below and subscribe if you haven't already. Look forward to talking to you all again soon. Have a great day.